The greatest description of God is probably in Exodus, in which Moses asked God, if you recall your Bible studies, asked God, well, who shall I say sent me to Pharaoh to deliver Israel from the power of Egypt and its oppression? And the voice replied, tell them that I am sent you. And so the definition that God gave of himself is simply isness. I am without any limit whatsoever. Am meaning amness, isness. And so everything that is of his very nature has to be in relation to that which is without limit or any kind.
When you say describe God, you have already assumed that something exists. I would say, don't assume anything. Everything that you do not know, have the basic humility to see that I do not know. Only when you see I do not know, there is a possibility of knowing it. When you say describe God, you have a firm assumption that there is somebody sitting up there. This assumption has created enormous pain and suffering to human beings on this planet. Probably maximum number of lives have been taken on this planet in the name of God. Most horrible things on this planet have been done in the name of God. Simply because the fight in the world is not between good and evil. Even today, the
limitation.
Wars in the world is not between good and evil. It's always between one man's belief versus another man's belief. The moment you believe something that is not a living experience for you, you're already in conflict with somebody else who believes something else.
Here in Vietnamese we call cái nón, and French people say, no, it's c'est un chapeau. And American people say, no, it's a hat, you are wrong. It's not cái nón, it's a hat. But that is that reality. I call cái nón, you call hat, other call chapeau. So God is that reality of greatness, of beauty, of growth. Wherever you see great understanding, wherever you see light, where you see peace and love, that is God. And that is Buddha.
If you want to seek, when you say God, you're talking about the source of life. Why this idea of God has come to you is, when you were born and you opened your eyes, all this creation was already on. So you assumed, if so much creation has to be there must be a creator. So if there is something called creator, if there is a force or a person or a thing which is creating all this, where can it be? Wherever it may be, if you look at the function of the existence, you can see, if it is there, it must be everywhere. If it is everywhere, it cannot be an entity. So the only way you could approach it is, for example, yourself, if you look at yourself, when you were born, you were only this much, and now you became this much. How did all this happen? Did somebody stretch you from outside? That which you refer to as the creator is constantly functioning within you, creating all this. So if you really want to know what is the nature of the creator, you must turn inward.
And the higher self is most accessible in the heart. There is, according to the Sufis, there is in the heart an innermost chamber of the heart that belongs only to God. And if you go there in meditation and prayer, you are with God. It is a place of oneness. There the lover and the beloved are one. But God can be found everywhere. There is a lovely practice by Brother Lawrence, the practice of the presence of God. He was a monk in, I think, the 16th century. And whatever he did with God. He worked in the kitchens, he hated working in the kitchens. But whatever he did with God. He peeled the potatoes with God, he washed the carrots with God. God is everywhere.
God is in everything, everything is God, everything is a part of God.
We call the Wu Qi, the nothingness, the center of the universe. So in the Taoism, we don't give them a name of God.
Tell them that God is not out there.
God is beyond even our idea of the beyond.
You can't describe it, you can only feel it. The real goal is something much more amazing, you know. It's much more fantastic.